So you are searching for a cheap camera solution for YouTube videos, but you don't want one. You would like to have a second one where you can show a product, come back to you, that you would like to, for example, even do a crop and go back to the normal image, and also being able to do cool splits like you can see here, where you can see myself and you can see the product. But also I would like to be able to basically do a zoom to a product that I'm showing to the table. So I would like to have also a solution that is like a macro lens, all in one product. That's really difficult, but that's what Creative is trying to offer us with the Project Watcher. If you want to know everything about this one, stay tuned until the end of the video. Hi everyone, Marcus here from madpack, and if you love tech and if you love discounts, this is the place for you. And today we'll be talking about Project Watcher, a product that I had the possibility to test when it was just a prototype, and here we are with the final product. And I have to say that it may become my new camera. And yes, I have a camera that costs basically twice the price of this one, and I'm talking about the Canon M6 Mark II that I simply love it. But when we talk about videos on YouTube, you need to consider that you have to film yourself talking to the camera, and also you need to basically edit a second camera where you're going to show all the B-rolls and how it works. So imagine that I was doing a review of this. And also you need to consider another thing that sometimes it's a bit frustrating, that is having a lens that is like a macro lens, because sometimes you want to show a detail that is really small and is not possible with your camera. So normally what I do is I grab my phone to do that, because the macro on my phone is better than on my camera. That brings other problems because I need to charge those batteries, and I have to always pass all that information to my computer. So if you think about it, this is a lot of steps and a lot of things that you have to do to have a final project. And Creative with Project Watcher is trying to give us a solution that is easier. So here, for example, is what I was saying about macro. This type of details on the remote of PlayStation is impossible to see with your eyes. And in here you can see really well all these details with the logos of the controllers of PlayStation. So definitely a plus that you have with this product. And another thing that you have to think about is not just filming. When you are doing these videos, you have to edit to create a more dynamic video. That here is very easy because I can just press a button and change from a camera to another, and in that way the video is much more dynamic. But let's now look a little bit closer the remote and see what you can do with this one. So let's talk now about this remote and what you can expect. So looking to the remote, on the corner you'll have Cam 1 and Cam 2. So these two buttons, obviously Cam 1 is the one that is filming myself, Cam 2 is the one that is filming the remote. On the side of Cam 1 you have zoom. So basically, as you can see now, I'm closer to the camera, and that's a zoom, and you have up to 4 zooms. So this is the second one, third, and go back to normal, and I'm using this one at the minute. So now if you look to the settings of brightness, you have 3 settings, and that's something that I'm not really a big fan. But as you can see, I have the middle one. So this is the brightest and is unusable, to be completely honest. And basically the same happens to the other one that is too dark. So you are basically stuck with the middle one that for me is just slightly brighter than I would like. So I would like to see a solution that I can control the brightness. The other problem that the brightness have with this camera is, depending on the amount of black that is on the screen, is going to change the brightness. So you'll notice that now when I'll take my hand here, is going to get brighter. You saw the difference? Now it's going to change again. That really irritates me, because when we talk about a system for content creators, we want to be in control of the light. So when you are using a GoPro, it makes a lot of sense, because this is a small sensor, obviously like the cameras that I'm using right now, but this, you are outdoor and you don't control the light. But it's not the same when you are indoors, because I control all these lights. I decided how I want everything set it up here to film these videos for you guys. So I would like the flexibility to decide the amount of brightness, because for example, if now I was with this t-shirt in white, you'll see that the brightness will not be the same. So I have to constantly try to adjust the brightness of all my lights and try to change the position of them to control some issues that happens with these cameras. So definitely something that I'm not really happy about. So as you can see here, this is the button that is going to do this split, and you have different modes. So here is another mode that is more, let's say, when you are doing like a live, if you was playing, for example, an instrument and you want to show your hands and yourself, definitely a pro. But I don't really like the black bars, so I prefer this type of look if it makes sense. And here on the bottom is to swap the sides, and I prefer to see myself on the left hand side of the screen, and on the other side the remote that I'm showing to you guys at the minute. Here on the side you also have an anti-flicker, so if the lights they are constantly changing, you can press. I have to say to you guys that it doesn't work all the time, because I had quite a bit of an issue to set it up the lights on the table to don't have some flickering, and it took me a while to be able to sort that out. So definitely something that I hope that it can be improved with software or with a new generation of Project Watcher Pro, and we'll talk about that in a second. Next to it you can obviously mute your remotes, and also the other button is to basically shut down all the projects, so you'll not be able to see anything. And here on the bottom you have the presets, so here you can program what you want, and you decided which side of the screen you are, which side is the second camera, what is the brightness, and so on and so on. But I don't get it why you can't do that with the other controls. For example, if I'm with the main camera and I want just to do a quick zoom in, I would like that when I press back on the other button, I'll go back to normal. But for that, I need to have a button that is configured to go back to normal. So it makes no sense. I would like that I have the possibility just to do a long press and I'm pressing and nothing happened. Definitely something that I hope that they can change. If I press on the split button, it shows me this way, that, like I said, it will be better for like a live stream or something like that. And even if I press again, you'll be able to see that the remote is brighter than on my settings. So if I go back to P1, you'll notice that now the remote is darker. So when we talk about connectivity of this one, is very, very simple. You have the two cameras, the cables, one cable that connects to that camera, to your second camera where I have now my hand, and after you have another cable that goes from the camera number 1 and goes directly to your computer. But obviously I know that they try to give us a plug and play situation, and maybe even thinking more about this as a stream tool than properly as something to do videos, but I think that they could have done a little bit better. So now let's talk about things that really upset me or I would like to see different on Project Watcher. Yes, it's an amazing product out of the box. You can do a lot of things that I never thought to be able to do with just one set. If you think about it, with my previous camera, I have to basically charge my microphones, I had to charge my camera. Here is all set it up and is all connected to the computer. Yes, it's not the same quality of image, but you can't expect with such a small sensor. I'm not really keen on this one is the fact that you have infrareds. And the disadvantage of infrareds is that you need to be a little bit further away to work well. And since the sensor is so small, when closer I am, the better, because I can have all the lights closer to my face and I'll have better results. So for me, it doesn't make any sense that this remote is basically using those batteries for watches. I don't get it, why is this and is not rechargeable. Creative, for future generation, I would like to see a remote that, first of all, it also feels more robust on your hand. This remote reminds me those cheap remotes from like those cheap lamps that you can change colors. So I will definitely like to see a remote that is slightly different, and like I said, connecting by Bluetooth. Another thing, like I said, that I want to see different is the possibility to configure all these buttons, not just here on the bottom, because it makes no sense that if I want to configure P1, P2 and P3, it needs to be just, for example, this one with my brightness, or maybe the second camera. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever for me. So I think that they can do obviously an update on the software. I don't know how it works for the remote, because I don't think that this can be connected and update the software here. But now let's talk about, besides the remote, like I explained, that upset me the most, and that I think that when they were doing this was just thinking about streaming and not so much as a crazy guy like me that want to replace a Canon M6 Mark II for a solution like this, is because it's just a plug and play solution. If you are trying to record, you need a software to record. So in this case, I'm using OBS. Yes, you can use QuickTime, but it's not the same. This was thought for us content creators that will be inside, not outdoors, and being controlling the environment where we are, the amount of light that reach the camera, my face, and so on. When you are outdoors, yes, it's completely different. So if you are using a GoPro, you can be under a tree or you can be completely in the sun. So you need something that do the same as this camera, that is constantly adjusting the amount of brightness, because if it's darker, I need more light. If it's brighter, I need less light. But not indoors, because like I said, I'm controlling the environment where I'm filming. I would like that in the future, I can't go on the settings here and changing them. So being able to go, for example, on my phone where I'll have a settings of this brightness. I don't want that the system decides how bright it should be. What I want with this is more control. And I think that the product from Creative, the Project Watcher, is really on the right way to give us a cheap solution for YouTube videos, where you have one camera, two cameras, and you have also a remote that will allow you to do all that. But I want more customization on this remote, and I want a solution when we talk about brightness that I used to do with my phone before, where I could install apps that will allow me to control my phone as if I was using a camera like the Canon M6 Mark II. I hope that all of this makes sense. So can I recommend this product? And I have to say that yes, because in the end of the day, it's quite cheap for one camera, two cameras, a remote. It's like on the go. It's like if I was taking a lot of my time back, because when I'm doing this video, I'm already thinking about editing, how I want. Now I want to see myself and I want to see the phone and I want to see this, and I just put it side by side, and after I just have to do some crops. And that saves such an amount of time. And time is precious in these days when you have to do other things to survive, because YouTube doesn't give you the money enough, at least in the beginning, like for me. Can I recommend this product? Yes, but I would like to have more customization. I would like to be more in control of what I'm doing. And also remember, I think this is an amazing tool for streaming. So if you are just searching something for streaming, definitely you don't have to think a lot. It just works fine. But if you want to use this as a video tool and not as a streaming tool, remember that you need to do your homework. You need to learn a little bit more about softwares like OBS, the one that I'm using to film this for you, because in the end of the day, Creative and Project Watcher doesn't come with any software. It's a bit of a bummer, and I understand why they do this, and I understand that also the main target of these cameras and this software is for streaming and to be on the go and being able to do all this stuff and changing to different angles. But I would like to see something that I can be in control, and it allows me to film also these videos in a more professional way, if it makes sense. My name is Marco, this is madpack. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash the thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face, and I hope to see you in the next one.